Hello! Welcome to the Art Nibbles Art Studio. Today we're going to be doing a fun and simple technique using watercolors, making a wet into wet cat. It's super fun and the paint basically does all the work for you. So I'm excited to get started.
Hello and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to do a kitty cat painting using the wet into wet technique for watercolor paints. You'll need watercolors. I'm using the brand Pelican. You can use Crayola watercolors or whatever you have. It'll all work just fine. You'll need a paintbrush. I recommend a medium-sized paintbrush like this. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Water in a cup. The paper you'd like to paint on. And I recommend having a little bit of extra scrap paper to practice on before you get to the paper you intend to paint your final painting on. So this is my scrap paper, and we're going to use this. I'm going to set my paper aside to use later to make room. Alright, so here's my scrap paper. First, I'm going to teach you how to do the wet into wet technique. It's very easy. First, you just get a lot of water on your paintbrush and wet down your paper. I'm doing this extra piece of paper to practice on before I get to the next part. Make sure it's nice and glossy, but it doesn't have to have pools of water on it. Just so it's wet. Wherever it's still shiny, that means it's wet enough. And you'll want to work fast because this can't be dry for this technique. So wet it down till it's shiny. Then choose your color. I think for my cat, I'm going to make a black cat. So I'm going to use black in my practice as well. And this part is very simple. You just touch. See how much that spread out, even with one touch? Now let's see what happens when I draw a line. Ooh, I like that. That's super fun. Let's try drawing a circle. Wow, look at that. It almost fills it completely in. See how far it spreads? So we need to remember to give our painting some room to spread out when we do this. I think that's enough practice. You can have fun practicing on all kinds of paper, and later you can use that practice paper for painted paper for other projects. So keep all of what you do in your practice as well. Don't throw them away. Right, go ahead and get your painting paper out and get ready. The first thing you're going to do is exactly the same as before with our practice. Simply wet down the paper. If you have a larger brush, you can go ahead and grab that just to wet down the paper well enough. Sometimes it can be difficult to do with a medium or small brush because you have to go fairly quickly. Your paper should be completely covered in water. There should be no dry spots left. All right. Mine looks very glossy, so I think I'm finished. I'm going to put my big paintbrush away. I don't need that anymore. I'm making a black cat, so I've chosen black, but you can do any color you'd like. To do our cat, first thing you're going to do is draw a little circle in the upper part of the paper and watch it spread out. Next, you'll draw a little oval and fill it in. Give your kitty some ears, little tiny triangles on top of his head. And now he needs a tail. Since this already spread out this way, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use that. All I did was draw a squiggly line with my paintbrush, and the wet paper will do the rest. If you would like some whiskers on your kitty, I recommend waiting for this to dry first, then adding details. If you'd like your painting to dry faster, you can use a blow dryer on a low setting. Don't use the high setting because it might spread your paint in directions you don't want it to go. Alright, my paper is nice and dry now. Now, I can use my medium brush and press very lightly if I want to make whiskers with this, or if it's easier, you can switch to a very small brush. Something like this, or something like this. Either way, it'll all work just great. Grab the same color that you used for the rest of your cat and simply add some whiskers. And you're finished. The last thing you need to do is add your name. We always want to sign our artwork because we want to know who made it. I like to sign with a pen or pencil. You can sign with your paintbrush if you'd like to. And there we have it. You have a beautiful kitty painted with the wet into wet technique. Great job, everybody. I hope you had a ton of fun, and I hope to see your artwork shared on social media. If you do share your artwork or your parents share your artwork on social media on Facebook or Instagram, please tag me at Kathleen Rolling. That way, I can see your artwork, and I would love to see it. I'm sure it's beautiful. Okay, thank you so much for joining my class today, and I'll see you next time.